Welcome back, fans, to another episode of the ECHL Insider. I am your host, Garrett Hunter, with an update for you on the conference finals today and two really, honestly, shocking series score to talk about. We'll start with the Western Conference Finals as the Toledo Walleye heading back to Toledo have a 2-0 lead on the Kansas City Mavericks. Let's take you back to game one, where the Walleye were winners 2-0, and no score through 40 minutes in this game. And then the Walleye able to break the ice early in the third period, and then followed up about 2 minutes later with another goal. And that second goal just caused directly off of a neutral zone turnover by the Mavericks. Can't have that, and it ends up in the back of their net. So two shots, really, the difference in this hockey game. I think Toledo definitely the best team in game one. Now talking about game two, 4-3, Walleye win it. And through the first 40 minutes of game one, we had no goals. Through 20 minutes of game two, we had 5 goals. 3-2 Walleye after the first period. High scoring, really fast paced. And I think a critical goal in this game was that early second period goal by the Mavericks. They answered and tied it at 3 apiece. But that quick shot off the rush from the Walleye beats LaFontaine over the shoulder. And that was the difference in the second period with a 4-3 Walleye win. So what are the keys for the Mavericks heading now on the road in this series? Well, you got to control the turnovers. You've seen way too many neutral zone, just sloppy turnovers by the Mavs in this series. And then chances off the rush. Walleye have scored way too many goals off the rush early in this series. Got to clean that up if you're the Mavericks. The good news for Kansas City is the two playmakers for the Walleye, Tyler Spezia and Brandon Hawkins, have not only 0 points in the series, but combined through 2 games, both players have only 9 shots on goal. So they have really held those two in check, but we also have to think about it in the way that with two guys as good as Spezia and Hawkins, if you pay too much attention to them, you open up lanes for other guys. Like Lewandowski, he's really good for the Walleye as well. I think he's had some good looks in the first 2 games. So we'll see the Mavericks approach. Do they take a little bit of attention off those 2 players? Do they stick with it? But either way, I think Jan Bednar in game 1 was the difference for the Walleye, and Gylander played really well in net game 2 for them. So we'll see who they put in the net games 3 and 4. I think especially that'll be interesting. I think kind of the winner of whoever plays the best games 3 and 4 will get the rest of the series, but they could just keep switching them off 1 and 1. So we'll see. But Gylander and Bednar are a really good goaltender duel right now for the Walleye. Well, now turning our attention to the Eastern Conference Finals, where maybe the shocker so far of the playoffs, the Florida Everblades trail the series to the Trois-Rivières Lions 2-0 after the Lions went into the Sunshine State and won both games 1 and 2. Let's talk about game 1. Really a tight game all the way through, tight checking. These teams, not a lot different other than the shots on goal. I mean, Florida really took it to them. I think it was 37 shots on goal for the Everblades in game 1. But despite the shot disparity, I think the Lions made it up in just their aggressiveness defensively. They had amazing positioning, sticks on pucks, really, really good. And whenever that they needed to save, Luke Kavlin was there. He pitched the shutout, 1-0 in that game. The only goal in the game came in the second period, a seeing eye shot through traffic that got above the shoulder of Cam Johnson. So, I mean, a shot like that through traffic, you're going to have those bad bounces throughout a game, throughout a series maybe. But that being the difference in this game, the Lions' approach after that goal completely shifted. I mean, they went into a defensive shell. They were like, you're not going to score on us, Florida. And they really shut it down. Luke Kavlin, you cannot say enough good about him right now. He has played absolutely lights out. Think about it, 120 minutes in Estero, and Luke Kavlin allows just 1 goal. So with that, we'll go to game 2. It was 2-1 Lions in this one. Early goal, 37 seconds in for the Lions off of just a rebound that got behind Cam Johnson. And that's a big deal. 37 seconds in, you're already trailing. And the night before, you only lost 1-0, and you're already down 1. That was a big difference. But Kyle Neuber, the tough guy for Florida, the only goal in this game, that's the only shot that beat Luke Kavlin. If you wanted to ask me who's the guy who's going to break the ice first in this series for Florida, the last person I would have said it's going to be Kyle Neuber. But sure enough, he gets his first ever playoff goal, ties the game at 1-1. And then Trois-Rivières, though, they pressed and got that next goal. And then again, they went up by 1 goal in the second period and just locked it down from there. I think really it comes down to in games 1 and 2, Trois-Rivières, whenever they need a clear, they're getting a clear. Whenever they start to run around in the defensive zone, they get the puck out. And then Luke Kavlin has just been Superman for them right now. Just absolutely incredible stuff from him. So the key now heading north of the border for games 3, 4, and 5 is going to be, can Kavlin keep it up? Can he just continue to stay spectacular for the Lions in goal? And can the Lions continue to play a defensive game against the Everblades? We know how good and how talented this roster is for Florida. Are they going to be able to finally kind of find their rhythm, find their groove offensively against this team? I mean, they've had the shots on goal, well over 30 in both games, but if you can't break through it, it doesn't matter. So I think the Lions are playing a low shot, high defense type of game. And for the Everblades, they want to continue to attack. But I think eventually you're going to get rewarded if you're Florida, if you throw that many shots on goal again in game 3. So both series right now at 2-0 in favor of the in favor of the underdog, Toledo and Trois-Rivières. So really, really interesting. Both teams with the 2-0 lead come home for the next 3. So both teams, Trois-Rivières and Toledo, have a shot at wrapping up the series at home if they win just 2 out of 3. So really, really big deal for those two teams. And for Kansas City and Florida, you can't drop game 3 because then you're down 3-0. So really, really important game 3s in both of these series. Going to be really interesting to see how those shake out. Tuesday night is Kansas City Toledo game 3. Wednesday night is game 3 in Quebec, Lions and Everblades. So really, really interesting to see how these two series turn out. We will, of course, bring you the update as soon as both of these series go final, and then give you a preview of the Kelly Cup finals. But first, check out the only goal in game 1 of Trois-Rivières, Florida, that shot that got through traffic and above Cam Johnson. So check that out. Then make sure to subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next week for the Kelly Cup finals.
Battle here tonight in a goaltender's duel. Shot, score! It went through traffic there, and it's Kyle Havlina as he cashes in with his first postseason goal. Somehow snuck in there. A shot at the half-board's near side. There was some confusion in front of the net, and Havlina makes it 1-0 for Trois-Rivières.